Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our channel. Today we are talking about what happened at Mama Ngina waterfall in Mombasa on May 21st, 2026, and why it has sent shockwave through Kenya's political establishment. At a presidential title deed event, a cabinet secretary, Hassan Joho, and Senate Speaker Ruto Kindiki walked to the stage together and welcomed President William Ruto by passing the Deputy President Kithure Kindiki, who was sitting there. In Kenya, welcoming the president to the stage is not a small gesture. It is a tradition, a political tradition that belongs to one office and one office only, the office of the deputy president. It tells every person in that room and every Kenyan watching exactly who stands closest to the president, who is trusted, who is next, and who holds real power. On May 21st, 2026 at Mama Ngina waterfall, that tradition was broken. Kindiki was present, Kindiki was invited to the podium, and Kindiki was not given a chance to speak. That is not a protocol error. That is a statement. But the Mombasa stage moment did not happen in isolation. To understand it fully, you must go back just days earlier. President Ruto traveled to Azerbaijan on May 16, then to Kazakhstan on May 19. Two countries, one important question: who did he leave in charge of a country that was burning with fuel protest? Not his deputy president. Not. So when Kenyans took to the streets over the rising cost of fuel, when matatu operators shut down, when protests turned violent and roughly people were arrested in different parts of the country, President William Ruto directed Cabinet Secretary Kipchumba Murkomen, CS John Mbadi, CS Davis Chirchir, and CS Opio Wandai to handle the crisis. It was CS Murkomen who faced the cameras. It was Murkomen who addressed the nation. It was Murkomen who announced the government's response. Kindiki, the deputy president of the Republic of Kenya, was reduced to asking Kenyans to be patient from the sidelines. Now connect those two moments. When Ruto travels abroad and assigns a national crisis response to cabinet secretaries, not his deputy. Another one, he returns from Kazakhstan and lands in Mombasa on the May 21st, and at the very first presidential event on that return at Mama Ngina waterfall, Cabinet Secretary Hassan Joho and Speaker of the Senate Ruto Kindiki walked to the stage together side by side as pair and welcome the president while Kindiki sits and watches. This is not one incident. This is a pattern, and the pattern in Kenyan politics never lie. Now look at how Joho is in this story. He's not just a cabinet secretary. He is the very man who has campaigned to occupy Kindiki's office is running full public view that he must be in the ballot. He has received endorsement from even his predecessor, Abdul Samad Sharif, who has declared it is the coast region's turn to hold the deputy president position. ODM chairperson Gladys Wanga also has backed Joho for the seat. This is one of the ODM as a party that has been pushing this agenda as part of the negotiation with President William Ruto that they must be given the deputy president seat. The man campaigning to replace Kindiki was the man chosen to welcome the president alongside the Speaker of the Senate, while Kindiki sat in the same venue and watched it happen. This is where the Mount Kenya factor becomes impossible to ignore. Rigathi Gachagua, the man removed from this same deputy president office in October 2024, has been making one consistent argument to Mount Kenya voters that this government used the mountain to win power in 2022 and is now negotiating that power away to ODM for political survival in 2027. So when Ruto bypasses Kindiki during a national crisis and hands authority to cabinet secretaries and then allow Joho and Kingi to welcome him to the stage over the head of his own deputy, Gachagua does not even need to make that argument anymore. The evidence is making it for him. For the farmer in Muranga, the trader in Kirinyaga, the young person in Nyeri, the question is simple and direct. Is the deputy president of this country being respected, or is he being managed? Is his office real, or it is a decorative office? And if the second highest constitutional office in this land can be treated this way during a national crisis, in public, on cameras, what does that say about how this government values the people that office is supposed to represent? Those are not small questions. They are questions that will define 2027.